Hello. In this video, we are going to talk about the illustrative pattern of writing. Now, sometimes students have the misconception that these different patterns of writing are discrete. And what I mean by that is that students sometimes believe that when you're writing an illustrative essay, you are only using the illustrative model. Or when you are writing compare and contrast, you are only using the compare and contrast model. Or if you are writing definition example, you are only using that model. And the truth is that as we get into more sophisticated compositions, writers use a variety of these patterns inside one essay in order to communicate meaning. For example, think back to the Malcolm Gladwell essay, Small Change: Why the Revolution Will Not Be Tweeted. In that essay, Gladwell uses a combination of narrative in the form of anecdote, definition example pattern, and compare and contrast. So, although we're going to focus on illustrative writing this week as a discrete unit of writing, know that this will become part of the larger and longer compositions that you write. So, let's get into it. What is illustrative writing to begin with? Well, illustrative writing is used to explain concepts or ideas. It's similar to the definition example pattern, and its success depends on the use of lots of examples in order to illustrate a main idea. The main idea is, of course, expressed in a topic sentence, and that topic sentence usually makes a broad or more general statement. Supporting details then illustrate or give examples of that statement. Finally, the illustrative pattern is often used as part of academic writing. So let's take a look at some examples. When we think about the way to organize an illustrative essay, we want to begin with a very clear topic sentence. In this case, our topic sentence comes from an essay on domestic violence. The topic sentence reads, "Many men are raised to believe they must be dominant or controlling partner in a heterosexual relationship." So, if we're thinking about the illustrative pattern, the rest of the supporting details have to give examples of what this looks like. So, one supporting detail might be that men often make the big decisions in a relationship without consulting a female partner. Now, making big decisions without consulting someone else is an example of dominance or control. Another supporting detail may be that males are more likely to engage in violent behavior. Violent behavior is, of course, another example of dominance or control. And then finally, males are sometimes taught to believe that their female partners are their property. And that is a supporting detail that illustrates the idea of control. So these are what we would call the major supporting details in a paragraph, and they do correspond to or help support the topic sentence. But this is not enough. What we want to be able to do is to paint a clearer picture with more detailed examples for our reader to help illustrate the truth of our topic sentence. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to add some minor supporting details that are going to help paint a picture for our reader. So instead of just saying that often big decisions are made without consulting a female partner, we now have a minor detail that says this causes a power imbalance that can increase controlling behavior. So in this instance, our minor supporting detail is helping to explain our major supporting detail. In our second example, according to the New York State Health Department, 97% of domestic violence perpetrators are men. That again helps to support the major supporting detail. And a minor supporting detail is that male partners sometimes tell their female partners even what they can wear, and that helps illustrate the idea of property. When we begin to put a illustrative paragraph together, it's important for us to use transition words. And some of the most common transition words you'll use when you're writing illustratively are what we call order of importance words and also illustrative words. Order of importance words introduce your major ideas in a paragraph or an essay. They're usually words like first, second, third, next, last, finally. And then we're also going to use illustrative words, and our illustrative words generally introduce our minor supporting details. So for example, for instance, specifically to illustrate, an illustration is, these are all other ways of saying for example. So let's put it all together. Here's our paragraph now with our minor supporting details and with our transition words. Many men are raised to believe they must be the dominant or controlling partner in a heterosexual relationship. First, men often make big decisions without consulting a female partner. This causes a power imbalance that can increase controlling behavior. Second, males are more likely to engage in violent behavior. For example, according to the New York State Health Department, 97% of domestic violence perpetrators are men. Finally, males are sometimes taught to believe female partners are their property. To illustrate, some males control where their female partners can go, who they can speak to, and even what they can wear. So you'll notice that the transition words in purple, the first, second, and the finally, introduce our major supporting details, and our illustrative transition words in red, for example, and to illustrate, introduce our minor supporting details. As you use the illustrative pattern, this is the sort of basic template for it. But we want to be cautious that we don't get into the habit of just listing out examples without truly explaining those examples or exploring the ways in which those examples have consequences for our topic sentence. Here's what I mean. In this example, what I've done is develop the first example a little bit more. And you'll notice that when we develop the first example a little bit more, it helps paint a clear picture in the reader's head as to why this example illustrates the topic sentence. So let's go ahead and read it. Many men are raised to believe they must be the dominant or controlling partner in a heterosexual relationship. First, men often make big decisions without consulting female partners. This causes a power imbalance that can increase controlling behavior. When female partners are not consulted regarding significant financial, employment, or living decisions, they may become vulnerable. According to the National Network to End Domestic Violence, financial manipulation is present in 99% of domestic abuse experiences. Second, males are more likely to engage in violent behavior. Okay, so then we move on to the next example. But notice that in that first example, what we've done is added two more sentences that help to explain what it means for men to make the big decisions without consulting a female partner, and why it is that that example shows controlling behavior or dominance. And so, as you are writing your illustrative essays, you want to try to develop supporting details, minor supporting details, that really help to explain or illustrate those major supporting details.